There was never a time a black man was hung and a black woman wasn't swinging beside him. I'll go ahead and get into these videos, but again, I played this one before, but I think it's so critical to kind of keep replaying this because it's so short, but it's to the point, because we're going from 1972 to 1986 when I was 4 years old. Now I'm a 41-year-old man, and we're still having some of these same conversations. But for those that haven't seen it, this is Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin having a discussion about black male and female relationships and who should be leading the community at the time. Let's go.
Changed as a black woman, because there was a time, let's say my mother, you know what I mean, my aunts and things like that, they would say, okay, if that's the way you establish your manhood, I'm going to go for it. And my generation says, hey, no good.
Okay.
You must establish a new base.
I'll agree with that.
And we are, as a group, demanding that a new base be established. Why can't we try it my way?
Later.
25 years ago, the strong family was still the backbone of black America, and 3 out of 4 children had both parents at home. That is true no longer. Most black children are now growing up without their fathers. Single women and the children they're rearing alone are the fastest growing part of the black population. Why don't you plan to get married? I'd like to know that.
I wouldn't want no man holding me down because I think I can make it as a single parent.
But don't you think you might need help in raising that baby from a man?
Not really. Male figures are not substantially important in the family.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
I beg your pardon. Now look where we're at in 2023. Again, this is 1972, and when I listened back to that clip between Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin, I didn't notice it before, but Brother James was like, okay, I can agree with that. It's so many men during that period that just didn't want to fight anymore. And I'm not saying like not fight for your people, but didn't want to fight with the women anymore, because it was the new women's liberation, things they wanted to try, going to school and working and things like that. And let me explain something about our history. I've said it before, I'm going to keep repeating it. I was woke before the sun got up. So I know the history of our people in this country. I know the history of our people, you know, roughly back in the motherland. There was never a time that black women didn't work. So this stereotype, this idea that black men have, you know, some issue with black women working and, you know, stepping outside the home and doing things like that, it's a lie. While the men went out to hunt, let's take it back to the motherland. When the men went out to hunt, the women were going down to the river to get water, to cook later on for what that man damn near sacrificed his life for, to go have to fight with a lion to kill a caribou or a antelope or whatever they were going to bring home that night, to feed the village. And the men went out there together in brotherhood. The women went down to the river in sisterhood. There was a balance. That shit is out of place now. Now we have this stereotype that black men are supposed to have this issue with black women working. It's never been your work. It's never been about how much more money you made, so to speak, but it's the attitude that comes with it. You take one bad dude that a lot of women have experience with, because again, there'll be multiple women for one dude. So now you got 5 women with this poor experience, and they want to bring it back and put it on the majority of black men, and that's not the case. It never has been. Get over here to the comments. Let me keep going. Broken Tradition says, do remember James Baldwin. He was gay or bisexual or whatever that was that he claimed to be sexually, whatever his sexual preference was. I really don't care, because again, he was a fighter for our people. He did have that passion and love for black people being better at the time. So regardless of his sexual orientation, he was a man that did the work, that was having a conversation. And a lot of men back then, straight to the guys at the factory coming home, just too tired to work. I mean, just too tired to fight. But that's the baseline. So we got 1972 again to 1986. This is roughly around the time Shahrazad Ali, you know, maybe a couple years later, started you know, running her interviews across the nation and having discussion about the book, and everybody wanted to focus so much on that part in there about, you know, about her putting in there, you know, if the black woman's getting jazzed at the mouth and just don't know how to shut up ever, the black man has a right to, you know, backhand her in the mouth. Not saying I agree with it, but I'm not going to disagree with it either. Having a conversation with my mama. Shout out to my mama again. Where my button at?
You go, girl.
Again, I just found out my mom listens to my channel, and everybody found that funny when I was telling them. But shout out to my mama. But something she was telling me, unfortunately, she doesn't agree with domestic violence and all that stuff either. But it's so many women that mouth, and some of the, it's not just the talking back, the being loud, disrespectful. The lies that are put on a lot of black men, a lot of time, that will flip a dude to flipping out or doing something that he's never done. I shared the story with y'all with me and my ex. Never put my hands on a woman before, never did it after. That's not who I am. But that night, as a 26-year-old hothead, I lost my cool. And again, I had kept my cool for so long and dealt with so much bullshit, but that was the particular night that I was like, not again. But unfortunately, that could have went totally different for me. By the grace of God, I'm still here, still have a career. If that would have went the way it's gone for so many other men, no military, probably no Kofa here speaking to you guys, getting the information from you guys, because y'all share with me, y'all teach me as well. So I'm hoping you're learning something by being on this channel. Let me see. Got some more people coming in. Peace, Eric Jordan, brother. I appreciate you, man. Hit that like, subscribe button if you haven't already. V-Bean Israel, appreciate you checking in, good brother. Passport OG, salute, bro. I see you in the chat, I think on Obsidian's channel and some other brothers' channel, man. I appreciate you being in here. Dead Set says Baldwin's sexuality had little to do with his blackness. Very little. Blackity black. Brother was solid. Chelsea said, that's what's up. But now let's get over here into this G.R.O.W.T.H video, and this portion of the G.R.O.W.T.H video, because there was like 4 parts chopped up on YouTube, fair use by the way, but 4 parts chopped up on YouTube. I picked this particular part because Shahrazad Ali was barely speaking in this part. This is when the audience was reacting to her, and I want y'all to see those dynamics. This is why I put that poll in the chat of, have you seen the contradictory, you know, information, you know, between the older generation. That's why I put there's an elder, there's an older. Some people are going to tell you go out there, live your life, damn near do the same mistakes that they've done. And then you're going to have people like Shahrazad, like, we got to fix this. And even what Iyanla ended up becoming. Again, I'm going to stop it a couple of times so we can discuss. I'm going to peep over to the chat. Y'all keep engaging. I'm going to keep looking over. Let me get this one last comment, and then we're going to go over that. Go over to the video. Corey Joe says, I only say that because if he yielded to an obvious concern with our women, this may render a bias in the conversation, not taking anything from his work. True, and I respect that, Corey. But again, like I said, regardless of his sexuality, there were straight as an arrow black men that were like, okay, we can try it. Because remember, in the 60s is when they started pushing black men out the home. So this is 1972 during that interview. Some men were tired of trying to fight the system and argue with their woman, because by then black women had started getting a check and getting some better jobs, I'll say. Because again, black women have always worked. Say this, then get to the video. There was never a time a black man was hung and a black woman wasn't swinging beside him. There was never a time a black woman was raped and a black man wasn't bent over a barrel, also getting raped. That's where we get the term being bent over a barrel from. But anyways, let's get to the video.